All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Agent Marketing Academy. And my name is Dave Marzinke. So we're happy to have you on here. And today we are going to be talking about the new rules of Facebook advertising for real estate and some of the things you want to look out for, and going over basically a 30,000 foot overview of the different methods of advertising, the different categories of where to run your ads and the topics, and then show you some examples on best practices on that. So thanks for coming. And we want to make this as interactive as possible. So if you have questions or comments or anything like that, then feel free to either put it in the Q&A or the chat window, and we'll answer those questions as we go along. So we don't want to wait till the end to ask questions. So, all right, we've got a good group on here already. So I'm sure more will come on here. Alexis is on here. Hey, Alexis, Dave Marzinke. I don't know if you remember us, but we worked together over at Discover way back when. So good to see you on here. All right, so we're going to jump into this. And then again, if you have questions, feel free to ask right away and we'll get started from here. All right, so new rules of Facebook ads for real estate. We're going to talk about why we want to run Facebook ads, understanding the objectives that we're going to be going over for advertising, the built-in objectives that Facebook has, some of the targeting rules, choosing your own audience, creating your ads, and then lead response and conversion, and then going over some examples of different ads that you can take a look at. So obviously, why do you want to run Facebook ads? It's the largest online user, has the largest social media platform. There's 2.45 billion monthly active Facebook users. So it's the best ROI, the cheapest advertising that you can do on Facebook or on social media. And it's definitely the platform to still use, even though many people are kind of shying away from it. But there's good reasons why to stick with Facebook. And we'll get into those in a little bit. All right, so there's 4 benefits to running Facebook ads. And these are just a partial list of why you want to stay on Facebook and why you can benefit from running ads on Facebook. And one is creating awareness. Think of it as a branding campaign, right? Building awareness for your personal brand and getting your name out there, and you can target in a specific community to do that. And so it's a great resource to be able to build awareness for your business and for yourself as a personal brand. 2, you want to increase your database. So there's campaigns that you can run that will allow you to add or adopt clients or prospects into your database so that you can build your database. And if you haven't explored this, you want to build your database as fast as possible, because the person who has the most data is the person that's going to be able to leverage that in the future as we progress. And especially when we get past this market of craziness with this high sellers market or extreme sellers market. And when rates go up a little bit and more inventory comes online, you want to make sure that you have a broad enough database so that you're capitalizing on generating business, generating leads from that. 3, you can use Facebook as a lead campaign, a lead generation. With the installation of the Facebook Pixel, which we will get into, you can re-show your ads to people, you can retarget people, and it's definitely useful to be able to do that and generate leads where people are in that decision-making process. And then number 4, you want to go after your past clients or keep in touch with your past clients. So for repeat and referral business, you can upload your custom audiences as a audience that you can target in Facebook, your past clients as a custom audience, and you can run ads specific to those clients. And that's a great tool to kind of get in front of them on a consistent basis. And speaking of that, as a gift for attending today, we will be sending out via email. 1, the slides will be going out, and 2, we have a guide on the ultimate guide to building custom audiences. So we'll be sending that out to you as well for attending today. So always good to have something to give away, right? All right, so what you need to run a Facebook campaign and advertise on Facebook is you will need a business page, because that's the only way you can run ads through Facebook. Definitely a budget for testing and trying out different ads, different copy, that type of thing. Definitely need a lead follow-up process. So you need something in place, you need infrastructure in place that's going to be able to capitalize on the leads that you generate, the engagement that you get, the comments that you get. And this is where you're able to actually do something with it and have the return on investment. If you don't have a lead follow-up process or don't know what that is, we're going to go through that here a little bit later on, but you want to have that in place so that you're not wasting dollars, because you can build all the awareness you want, but if you don't have something to follow up with, then you're wasting your money. And then lastly, this is a long-term perspective. Advertising on Facebook is not a quick hit where you're going to just generate a bunch of business within the first 30 or 60 days of doing it. It's a long-term play. So you want to have patience and consistency in making sure that your ads are out there and then constantly putting them in front of people. All right, Facebook ads are also kind of defined as passive or interest-based ads. This means that Facebook ads need to pique a passive user's interest. You can't get away solely focusing on sales. You need to have educational content. You need to have something that's going to grab people's attention and hit them early on in the sales funnel, which means that kind of pique their interest and be able to nurture that interest as they progress through the sales cycle and get closer and closer to making that decision where they actually want to do something. So keep that in mind. And with that, there's three main objectives on Facebook, right? Three main ad objectives that they have. And so we want to kind of go through those and understand those. Why are you running the ad in the first place? These are questions that you want to ask yourself. What's your intention? Who are you trying to reach? What's your strategy? And what are you going to focus on? And how are you going to follow up with them? So these are some of the main topics that you want to consider when you are running your ads. All right, so these are the three objectives, ad objectives that Facebook has. They have an awareness objective, a consideration objective, and a conversion objective. And we're going to go through each one here as we go along. So awareness, think of this as branding, right? Leads are in the awareness stage. They're simply toying with the idea of buying or selling property. They're curious about it. They want to start the process, but they're just kind of starting the investigation process. So you want to introduce yourself as the community expert here. So ads with videos or images that talk about your community that you serve, you as the expert, educational content. Those are great content for your ads in this objective. So you're not selling here, you're not pushing for the appointment, you're not pushing for the decision, you're just simply building awareness of who you are, the value that you bring, and then helping your clients out or helping the prospects out. Your consideration objective, these campaigns are people that are in the middle of the consideration stage. They have a plan to buy or sell a house and they're looking at options, but they're not quite at that decision point yet. And these ads should highlight listings in the area, community life, telling stories about what it's like to live in that area, your story about who you are and why you do what you do, and answer common questions on the process, right? What's it like to buy a home? What's it like to sell a home? Things that you need to consider. So more educational content. And then our last phase, our last objective is conversion. And these are people that are at the bottom of the sales funnel. They're ready to make those decisions and they're ready to take that next action, either make an appointment with you to talk about a listing or make an appointment to start considering what options they have to purchase a home. And you want to have ads that have a strong call to action on these ads. So, all right. Next part of this is just want to take a look at how you're going to create a Facebook ad. So first off, let's have a little question and answer here. How many of you actually have a Facebook business page? So we've got several on here. So let's see how many people have a Facebook business page. You can enter that answer in the chat window if you don't mind. All right, Alexis does. I've seen yours, Alexis. And what's been your experience with Alexis? Have you done Facebook advertising on a consistent basis, and are you getting business from it? Nice. All right. So that's great. We'll have you chime in here with more other examples. And then Joseph entered. Yep. He's got one going as well. So good. We've got some people on here with some experience. So, but if you don't have a Facebook business page, that's the first step that you're going to need in order to start this process or start consistently advertising on Facebook. We do have a class on developing your Facebook business page, so you can sign up for that. But for the purposes of our discussion, assuming that you already have a Facebook business page, or when you do, there's a couple different ways that you can get to the ads manager to be able to start building your campaign or building your ad. But the easiest one is on your Facebook page. You can go to create and then click on add, and that'll take you into that ads manager. So one of the main things that you want to keep in mind that changed with Facebook is that they now have special advertising categories. And so if you're running ads that are politically based, or for housing, or for finance, that type of thing, you need to select the special category, special ad category. If you don't, your ad's going to get denied, and then you're going to have to go back and resubmit it for approval. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you select the housing special ad category. That's important for any type of real estate advertising. Then you're going to want to jump in here. It'll take you to the next page. And the good thing about Facebook is that it walks you through the process. It has some pretty self-explanatory, self-directing templates on how to create your ad. But you want to walk in and you want to take a look at the categories that you're going to be selecting your ad from. Where do you want to put your ad? What type of campaign do you want to run? And so for our purposes, we're going to be talking about developing an awareness campaign, brand awareness. Okay, but there's other consideration, ads, and then conversion ads, right? So traffic is one where you want to have people, if you're going to try to generate traffic to your website or your landing page, that's the type of ad that you want to run. You have engagement. You have video views. So if you're running video ads and you want to target people specifically that engage with video content on Facebook, that would be the one to select. And then lead generation is obviously using a built-in form that Facebook provides for lead generation. So you can generate leads, increase your database that way. Or messages, that's one where you can run ads where it invites people to contact you via Facebook Messenger, which is instant messaging, as you all know, and it's highly successful as far as the open rates on that and the communication. So great engagement through Facebook Messenger. All right, so it looks like we have a question that popped up here. Yes, Maggie, you can watch, this is being recorded, so it'll be sent out from Orange County Realtors and along with the slides as well. So you didn't miss anything by coming in late. You'll be able to catch up, so to speak. All right, so for purposes of our example here, we're going to select brand awareness, right? And brand awareness shows your ad to your audiences repeatedly to achieve recognition or brand recall. So the only goal for this type of campaign for real estate agents is to get your message out to the largest target audience that you can. And over, it's going to show the ad over and over again just to be on a consistent basis and build that top of mind brand recognition. Under awareness, if you go with reach, this campaign is basically targets everybody within your selected audience. So regardless of whether they have a history of engaging on Facebook or not. So it's just kind of like a shotgun blast. So the reach objective is intended to get the maximum amount of impressions on that for the lowest price. So again, this is just building brand awareness, and advertising dollars on this should not be focused on trying to get business right away. It's just building brand awareness for your business. And as we talked about, we have the traffic ad, driving traffic to your landing page or website. The engagement ad is basically, this is where it's targeting, Facebook is targeting people that have a history of engaging with comments or posts like yours, right? So things that are, so they've engaged with other ads that are similar to yours, other real estate ads. So, and then whenever you boost a post, this is the automatic or default campaign that Facebook uses when you actually boost a post from your page. Video views we went over, our lead generation. And then this is an example of a lead ad on your mobile device, right? So Travis here is just advertising just listed property, has that learn more tab right there that takes them into a Facebook lead generation page where it auto fills their information that they have from their Facebook account. So it'll autofill their email, autofill their first name, and then they can hit submit, and that goes into your ads manager as a lead, where you can download those leads. So, and then it allows them to go in and see the content. So this is a lead generation campaign, what it would look like on a mobile device. The disadvantage of a Facebook lead ad is that there's quantity over quality. So many people can edit the form to provide false information. So you may get a larger volume of leads, but you're going to have to go through a significant amount of leads to find ones that are actually engaging on that. So just keep in mind that's something that you have to consider when running a lead generation campaign. All right, and then we talked about the messenger or ads targeted towards Facebook Messenger. It's basically allowing you to streamline that communication process and engage with prospects very easily through your ads, where they can contact you immediately through Facebook Messenger. So it takes the friction out of that by enabling them to communicate right away just from the ad. And then our conversion campaigns. Basically, these are obviously people that are ready to make a decision. They're ready to take the next step. And we want to have ads that have a strong call to action on this. And so these are those three. If you look at it as a sales funnel, we're building awareness. And then as they go through that, we're nurturing them through our ads into that consideration phase where they start developing a plan. And then when they're ready to take that final step, we put them into conversion ads that have a call to action. So that's that Facebook sales funnel. All right, so some of the things that we want to consider when we're building our ads is our targeting, right? So Facebook in 2018 had to realign or redo their targeting that they allowed advertisers to use. In the past, we could drill down and we could advertise to people that had certain net worth, people that lived in certain areas, many factors that we were allowed to go into. But Facebook got sued, so ACLU, National Fair Housing Alliance, ended up going after Facebook and they had to settle. So in that settlement, they had to change their targeting rules. And that's why you see those special ad categories. And so these are some of the things that got disabled. So Facebook now, when you run a special ad category, the age is defaulted to 18 to 65 plus. You can't advertise to specific age groups. Geo-targeting, there's a 15-mile minimum radius around your whatever city that you want to advertise in. So you can't shrink that down to a specific neighborhood. It's only a 15-mile radius. You can't do anything for gender, income, net worth. We used to be able to advertise to people that were newlyweds or just got engaged or just got divorced. All these different factors got taken away. So now what you have to do when you're targeting is you have to look at categories or interests, right? So Facebook has built-in interests on people that are interested in, that have interacted with Zillow or Realtor.com or Redfin, or they've done research for mortgage loans, looking for mortgage calculators or first-time homebuyer grants or house hunting or starter homes. These are some of the categories, partial list here. But you have to go through and actually take a look at the interests that are available in your area and then use those instead of targeting to specific demographics. All right, so we're going to create our ad using choosing our audience. So as we went through, obviously we went through create, click on add, go into our engagement campaign we're going to use. We're going to select brand awareness. And then we select special ad category, and then it's going to go in here to what type of budget that you want to put together. So one, you want to name your campaign so you can keep track of it in your business manager. Two, you want to ignore this split test because that's basically developing two different ads and seeing which one compares better. And if you're a beginner at this, you don't want to get bogged down in that. And then three, we want to go through and select our campaign budget optimization, right? So if you have a firm budget, you don't want to spend any more than say $200, then you're going to select that lifetime budget. And then Facebook will run ads. And then as soon as it eats up that $200, it will end. Or you can set a daily budget, whether it's $5 a day or $10 a day or $300 a day, whichever you want to do. And then you can run the campaign for a certain period of time. So those are your options with this. And then we can go in and select our audience as far as our targeting. And again, we're going to be focusing on interests only, right? Because we're going to select that special ad category for housing. And so we can select a 15-mile radius. So if you want to target different areas, you can select a 15-mile radius around, say, Huntington Beach, or you can do it around Mission Viejo or LA, whatever you want to do. And then you can select multiple cities for the same ad. And this is an example of selecting Irvine. It has that 15-mile radius of what that would cover. So surprisingly, that covers most of Orange County there. One of the interesting stats from National Association of Realtors is that it's a home buyer and seller report. And of all home buyers surveyed, the average distance is 15 miles from their previous residence. And just they broke it down by age category. So that's interesting that that aligns with what Facebook developed as far as their radius around the cities that you can advertise or that you select. And then this is where we get into our detailed targeting. And so these are examples of the interests that you can select. And you can see over here on the right-hand side where it has that interest category. So people that are looking at homes.com, house hunting, Zillow, real estate, anything real estate related. And then one of the cool things about your advertising is that you can exclude people from seeing your ad. And so if you want to exclude other real estate agents from actually seeing your ad, you can go in and select this and say anybody that has a title of real estate broker, manager, associate, advisor, any of those different types of things. And you can put all that information in so that you don't have your ad in front of other competitors. And then Facebook's going to ask you for your ad placement, right? And I would select automatic placements just because you want to make sure that you maximize your budget and that Facebook place those ads wherever they're going to place them. And then as we talked about, we can create a budget. Lifetime budget is the easiest one to start with, but you can select a daily budget and then run your ad for a certain period of time. And then you have different ad formats. So you can, if you have multiple images that you want to run, you can run this carousel ad where you can have 3, 4, 5 images and have people can scroll through those. I'm sure you've seen those. You can run a single image. You can run a video ad or a slideshow where it'll loop through and actually run those pictures through. If you have a just listing ad and you have several pictures of your home, you can do a slideshow ad and have it run through those pictures. Or you can do a canvas ad. And this is a more, excuse me, more immersive study by combining images and videos on this. Then you want to make sure that you write your text. This is kind of the headline here. And write your headline down here where like what's your home worth or just listed or whatever it might be. Have a description and then you want to have a call to action. Most popular one that people use is the learn more button. But there's other ones where if you're targeting towards, you want to get people to engage via Facebook Messenger, via message me, or if you want to send them off to a different website, you can say subscribe or sign up, so that type of thing. And one of the things that you might want to do, I would suggest doing this, is click on the add an instant experience, because 90% of the people that you're going to be looking at your ads are looking at it on the mobile device. And so Facebook has this template that will make it a more dynamic ad when they click on it on their mobile device. And so an example of that is if we watch this on this video. No, didn't do it here. Hold on one second. All right, so this is what that would look like as far as a Facebook dynamic or ad. So it takes up the full screen on their mobile device, and it shows different videos, combines video and pictures together. So that gives you that good idea. And you can add those captions in. You can have music into that content, however detailed you want to get into that. So hopefully this is making sense. Anybody have any questions so far as we go through this? All right, so let's jump into this custom audience and retargeting. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with retargeting, but basically what that means is that it's people that they click on an ad, they go to your landing page or something like that, or they search for something, and then those ads start following you around the internet, right? And so that's retargeting, and it's many companies use that strategy. And so Facebook allows you to do that with what they call your Facebook pixel, okay? And then custom audiences are where you can actually develop a specific audience and upload that to Facebook. And Facebook will target that audience, and it'll also create lookalike audiences. So people that look alike your custom audience, have behavior similar to your custom audience, and then go out and show your ad to more and more people that are similar to your custom audience. So one of the great strategies that people use for this is basically called digital farming, right? So instead of, let me back up here. So instead of doing direct mail or a mail campaign to your farm, you can work with your title person, and you can actually get a spreadsheet of your farm and all the people that are in it. And a lot of times your title companies can help you provide email addresses and even phone numbers for your farm, and then upload that as a custom audience. And then you can run ad campaigns directly to your farm instead of just sending that out via direct mail. So digital farming, it's a great way to leverage Facebook and the ability that Facebook has in targeting those things to maximize your impact on your farm and get in front of your farm. So one of the things you want to consider on that. So there's two categories of Facebook or custom audiences. One is sourcing that you provide, and then two is Facebook sources. And so we'll go through those, right? So for sources that you provide, it's basically any data that you provide from basically a spreadsheet that you have that's in a CSV format, past client lists, your digital farm, people that have gone to your website, and then you're able to keep track of that. Or if you're using MailChimp, you can import directly your contacts list directly from MailChimp into Facebook. So that's something that you can actually do as well. So the minimum quantity for a custom audience is 100 contacts, basically. So you want to make sure you have at least 100 contacts in there. And then basically all you're going to do is you want to make sure that you have at least, at best, most of these categories, but minimum you want to have a name and email address on your data, on your custom audience list. Because what Facebook does is it uses those identifiers to go out and find the people on Facebook and actually present your ad to them. And so the more identifiers you have, the more success you're going to be having in targeting your custom audience. So email, phone number, first name, last name, zip code, city that they live in, Facebook page, Facebook user ID if you have that, date of birth if you have that. So as many data points as you can get, the better. And then if you are familiar with what a Facebook pixel is, all it is basically it's a piece of code that you can put on your landing page or on your website that allows you can keep track of people that have actually visited them. And then Facebook will use that information to target those people on Facebook when they're on Facebook and engaged with advertising on Facebook. So if you don't have the ability to put that on your landing page or website, and you're using somebody to help you out with that, make sure that you give that information to them. Or if you need help in that. We've gone through and we've done that several times for our clients. So we can set up a time to get together and I can walk you through how to put that Facebook pixel on your landing page or your website. And then I'm going to make sure that we have our special ad audience. This is a new lookalike audience for housing. And Facebook says that they will show ads to people who have similar online behavior as your most valuable customers. So would you use special ad audience to create your lookalike audience from your customer list. So you can upload your customers, upload that database, create a new audience, and then create a special ad audience. And then it'll be your lookalike audience for people that are similar to your clients that you uploaded here on your own custom audience page. I want to go back here. One other thing I wanted to highlight is that for Facebook sources on custom audiences, if you've been running Facebook ads consistently and all that, then Facebook will help you form custom audiences from these categories. So if you've run videos and you can go in there and say, Facebook, find me all the people that have watched my videos for more than 10 seconds or more than 30 seconds or 5 seconds. And Facebook will create a custom audience just for those people that have engaged with your videos. If people have filled out a lead form and you have all those leads, you can create a custom audience with that. If you have an Instagram business profile and people have interacted with your Instagram profile, because Facebook owns Instagram, then you can create a custom audience for people that have engaged with your Instagram page. Or if you've run events on your business page, you can run custom audiences for people that have either gone to or selected interested in your events and engaged with your event advertising. Or if anybody's liked or commented or engaged with your Facebook page, you can create a custom audience with that group. So there's a lot of different ways to create custom audiences other than just your own client data. So I just want to make sure we covered that for you. And then of course, Facebook Ads Manager allows you to keep track of what's going on with your ads. If you're into, if you're kind of a data geek and want to see what's going on with your ads and what's successful and what isn't, you go to your Ads Manager page and you can get there from your Facebook page and you can see what's going on with your ads, what kind of engagement it's getting, your cost per impression or your cost per click on it, and how many leads you're generating, all those things here. So great way to keep track of things. Now we talked about lead conversion and follow-up, and that's one of the most important things that you actually need to have in place before you start Facebook ad campaigns. Because of the fact that without follow-up, you're dead in the water, right? You're just wasting your money. So you want to make sure you have something to follow up with everybody once you start consistently running Facebook ads. And we've heard that expression, the speed to lead, right? So the faster that you reach out to somebody that's engaged with you, the higher your conversion rate. And we all know this to be true if you've been in sales for any time, but these are the stats of what your conversion will be in the amount of time it takes to get in touch with that person. So the highest conversion is when you respond as fast as possible. So we're all busy, right? We're not sitting in a call center just waiting to jump on leads. So how do you do that? Well, great thing is technology exists where you can actually go out and build out technology through CRMs or other platforms that allow you to generate automatic follow-up, right? And you can build out these campaigns where one day, 20-day follow-up, 30-day follow-up plans, and it'll send out a text message, a ringless voicemail, an email, another ringless voicemail, and all these different systems will allow you to do that. So Agent Legend is one that will actually do that. LionDesk has a platform that will allow you to build that out. And so there's definitely some technology systems that are in place that are relatively inexpensive that will allow you to build these out. This is just an example of a follow-up campaign. So day 1, we want to contact them 4 times. Day 3, day 4, 8, 14, 15, 20. So we want to have at least 7 to 8 attempts to contact that person. And it usually takes 5 to 8 different attempts or touches before they'll actually engage for most people. Using a CRM is definitely something that you want to use to keep track of your data and your leads and have campaigns built out. Total Expert is a company that was out of Minneapolis, and they were built by real estate agents. He used to be a former Remax agent in Minneapolis, one of the top agents in the state, and he created this company, and he's done quite well in the real estate space. So Total Expert is a campaign platform that you want to use. Other ones, like we mentioned, there's Lion Desk, Wise Agent, Real Geeks, Easy Agent Pro. So these are some of the automation tools that you can have. Any questions on that? Does that make sense? All right, we'll jump into this next thing then. We wanted to show you some examples of best practices or some of the ads that have been successful in gaining business for real estate agents. So the free list of homes ad, basically it's a lead ad. So you want to select lead generation as far as the type of ad that you're running. This is the content. So basically just showing different pictures of a home. And if you want to get on a list for homes that are similar to this price point in this city, click on the Learn More tab. Right? It takes them to an IDX website where he has their Facebook pixel installed, and then you can retarget on Facebook, and then it has automated follow-up on that. So this is building your database, one way to quickly build your database. This is an ad that was run that basically does a great job of telling a story, right? So Travis here runs this ad, talks about first-time home buyers and how they went through that process and were able to use down payment assistance to get into a home for very little out of pocket. And so, you know, it kind of ties into the emotional aspect of it and getting those first-time home buyers. And as we're dealing with a lot of millennials that are coming into forming households and getting ready to buy, this is an ad that might work for you. This is another example of that as well. This is a great way to go out if you have a list, custom audience for your farm. Great way to advertise it coming soon, or put that out in general to your town that you're focusing on, city that you're focusing on. So coming soon ad. And then here's an example of an ad directing viewers to a landing page that's off Facebook. And just notice the continuity of the imaging, right? So everything is tied together using the same image on the ad that you are on the landing page. And so it's definitely something that you want to consider. And then the headline, the subhead, the image on the landing page are all matching directly. Right? Then this is an advertisement for building excitement about a property for an open house or virtual open house if in today's land, right? So you can create ads for virtual open houses or just listed properties, just sold, all those different categories. You know, pre-COVID, one of the most successful campaigns that we ran were open house ads. And basically we had a funnel built out where if you wanted to take a look at this home or homes just like this one or very similar to this one, click here and it would take them into a funnel that you would basically kind of have them pre-approve themselves through different questions. And then at the end, it would ask for their contact information. It was a great campaign to build your database and to have leads generated through open house ads. So hopefully we'll be able to get back to that soon. Again, sending this out to your farm, it's so much cheaper to send out put up a just sold ad on Facebook, building your brand as a great listing agent instead of doing direct mail. The ROI is so much greater using Facebook than it is for direct mail campaigns. And then this ad is a combination of multiple images and marketing messages. Makes this, it's a carousel ad, right? And it's a winner because you have you can present several different images to the viewer, right? So it has several pictures that you can scroll through here, and you click on that arrow button and it takes you through those. And then here's a listing ad example. So Facebook shortens what's visible. So you want to make sure that you're putting any links in your ads, that you put them at the top of the text right here. So instead of putting it lower, because as you see on Facebook, it'll cut it off. And then it has that see more in gray that you have to click on to see all the copy. So you want to put those links above that, so that way, you know, people can click on it right away and has less friction for people to get to the site that you want to take them to. So always put your links in the first 1 or 2 sentences. All right, so we went over, make sure that you get clear on your ad objective, that you leverage your interests, and make sure that you're creating custom audiences from your past clients, your farm, any prospects that you have. Make sure that you have a solid lead follow-up process and that you're leveraging technology to help. So hope this was helpful for you guys. And if you want to get in touch, I'll put my contact information here in the chat, and we can get offline and spend some time going over what questions that you might have. So thanks again for coming. Let me know if you have any questions.